By the way, this game is being funded by Riot. They've been acquired by Riot, and they're being funded with full creative freedom, so Riot's not having any effect on the game's, like, creation. They're just funding them. This is the guy who mailed me this little buddy. See this little Quebec? This little 3D printed Quebec? He mailed me this. Maybe, like, that would be cool. Maybe you could hatch the Ender Dragon and ride it around. That would be a cool, interesting reward for beating the game, having a literal dragon.
Bro, the thing is, can't you just mod this in Minecraft if you want to?
Sadly, I won't be hosting one there tonight. I'm a little sad today, and I'm not quite in the mood for it, as you can imagine. But
oh my god, dude!
I really do appreciate.
He's so cut up. He's cutting prior commitments for his content creation thing. Xanderhal A-log that posts in my Discord, and he always posts little Xanderhal updates. So this is all off the basis of what he said to me. So let's have a little look at this and see what we think. Rocket Czar, thank you for the Prime sub, and Someone Somewhere, thank you for the additional, very generous 5 gifted memberships. Very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's start here. This is from a couple of years ago.
I think it's called pseudo lore. Does Hytale compare well to Minecraft? Is it worth me trying? Okay, I'm going to play the Hytale trailer again on stream just to give you guys an insight. By the way...
Oh no, he's so excited. I can see why this is going to be banging already. He's so excited about Hytale.
Hytale trailer. This trailer is 2 years old. This is not even representative of how good looking the game is now. This trailer came out, 3 years old, 2018.
So this is from 2018, and he's talking about it in December 2021.
By the way, I've got a Hytale merch coming in the mail because the charity stream I did with some Hytale YouTubers.
This is fucking gold, dude. Literally ecstatic about Hytale, this game that's in development for years. At that point.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer, and you guys will understand what I mean when I say the survival block game genre is good, but it cannot stand on its own. You need to integrate a story with quests and goals alongside that to motivate you with external motivation to continue building and exploring and grinding for gear in this world. Yes, the term was quasi-lore. Thank you, Megamania. All right, let's watch the Hytale trailer. This should give you guys a good idea of what... This trailer is what I figured Minecraft would look like by 2021, back when I was 10 years old. If you'd asked, like, 10-year-old me what Minecraft would look like in 12 years, this trailer is more or less what I would have described.
Oh, getting excited about it. Oh, wow, look at this. Wow. Hi. Hi. Wow, looks so realistic. Okay, so I've heard about this game, mainly through like Xanderhal loving it or whatever, sort of. I don't know much about it. It just looks like a sort of like better skinned Minecraft. Am I insane or being unfair? What is the fucking hype here exactly? Hey, Major Peen, thank you very much for the Prime sub just now. Appreciate it, thank you.
Raptor, after this, I'll turn ads off and I'll do the ad break every hour, top of the hour things. I think Twitch is auto doing ads right now, which is kind of annoying. Look at this.
Okay, I understand you might like the look of this game, fair enough, but do you like the look of this game to the point you're dancing to the trailer like this? This is like an insane level of hype, I think, for what it is, surely. Anyway.
I'm rock hard right now, by the way.
Wait, what did he just say?
I'm rock hard right now, by the way.
Off depressed people.
Someone somewhere became a member.
Thank you for the membership. Very generous. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. He's bricked.
Dribbling pre-cum.
Oh, bro! Come on, man. That is ridiculous.
This game has quests, explicit lore, and a story. And an end game, an end goal, a final boss with lore and story and meaning and personality to it that we'll be fighting to beat at the end of the game with way more gear, way more different fighting. Do you guys want to see what the... Wow, the world already has so much character. There's 2 trailers for the game. Let me show you guys the other trailer.
Oh my god, dude. Now, if you know what happens next, I think you're starting to see why this is going to be so funny. Because we've not only got the news, we've then got how Xanderhal reacted to the news. And I think you probably guessed based on this. But it's somehow even worse than you realise if you don't know.
Hytale.
You'll see.
Trailer. There's another trailer as well. Allow me to show you guys a little bit more insight. This is the trailer that just came out on November 20th. That previous trailer came out in 2018. This trailer goes into a little bit more detail. Wait till you see this game's combat.
Oh, the combat. I tell you what, just seeing the trailer's one thing. I can't wait to play the game. Wow, the combat sounds amazing.
Amazing ID.
By the way, this game is being funded by Riot. They've been acquired by Riot, and they're being funded with full creative freedom, so Riot's not having any effect in the game's creation. They're just funding them, and they're putting a lot of money into it. Riot is planning for this game to be one of the next their big 3, right? Valorant, League of Legends, Hytale. Those are the 3 bases they want to cover. They want Hytale for them to be their next League of Legends or Valorant. That's what they're going for here, and they're putting a lot of...
They want Hytale to be the next League of Legends or Valorant. That is fucking delusional, bro. You really think some fucking Minecraft clone with better graphics is going to be the next Valorant? Come off it, dude. That's just deranged. Is it even multiplayer? Like, multiplayer is in competitive multiplayer like Valorant is. Obviously, it's probably multiplayer like Minecraft, but it's like competitive Hytale. Oh, come on, dude.
Money behind it, and I've talked to the devs for Hytale. I've talked to the devs. They are so fucking cool. They are great people. For one, they're super pro-trans. One of the devs, several devs, I'm sure, but I know at least one of the devs is trans. And I follow her on Twitter.
Do you know what's good about this hecking game? The fact they like trans people.
I follow all the devs on Twitter. They're just they're really progressive. They donated to BLM and everything, as opposed to Notch, who was a transphobe. Though I will say, based that they had Lena Raine make Pig Step the best music.
Listen, Notch may be a transphobe, but at least he knows how to release a game.
Minecraft, but
no spoilers.
I honestly, so far, as far as politics goes, the Hytale team step ahead of the Mojang team. Okay. Notch did do a little bit of bad press.
Hytale team, step ahead of the Mojang team. Remember that. That'll become important later.
Them, when it came to the politics side of things. But yeah, this is Nicolas Laurent, this Frenchman, basically explaining why Hytale is going to be fucking awesome and why he decided to give Noxie, the CEO of Hypixel Studios, a shit ton of money to make this game because he knows it's going to be good. Let's watch.
Sometimes crazy ideas. I wish we can do them all. But, we can't focus on everything. And then sometimes we realize we're not necessarily the best studio to make these games. And that's kind of how I felt when I met Noxie and the team at Hypixel. They came up with a demo of Hytale, and I right away saw that we had something special. It was both familiar but also different. Different because it's a different game. It's a different genre than what we're used to. But familiar in the way they talk about the community. the way they're willing to challenge conventions, their dedication to one game, and their commitment to make it better and better for years to come. That sounded very familiar to us, very Riot, and that's why we decided to partner with them and eventually have them join our family.
Thank you, Nerd, for the 420.
I want you to know all about this, but I'm not the best person for this. So let me invite my friend Noxy to tell you about this journey.
There it is. Hypixel Studios. I'm gonna go there one day. One day. I'm gonna go there.
Oh, who are you, Xanderhal? Tell us more. Say more, say more.
So the story of Hypixel is a story of a collective of...
I'd look exactly like this if I shaved this beard off, wouldn't I? Fuck.
Minecraft modders who shared a dream of going pro and having their own...
This is the guy who mailed me this little buddy. See this little Quebec? This little 3D printed Quebec? He mailed me this when we did that charity stream last year.
Wow, he sent you a bit of plastic tat. Incredible. Incredible. Damn, I can't wait. I can't wait to play as that character in the game.
I think he also mailed me a beanie and a coaster. A Hytale beanie and a coaster this year. I might be in the mail now. I should go check tonight. Really nice guy. Really, really kind. He donated $7,000, I believe. Or no, that was Simon. Simon Hypixel donated $7,000. I think he donated like $3,000 or like $1,200 or something like that during the charity stream we did this year. Really nice guy.
Game someday. Hypixel was very much driven in its ambition by...
Oh yeah, Hypixel Studios, they're based in Northern Ireland. They're in Derry, Londonderry. Is the place. Very strange name, but I respect it.
The challenges
like
that we faced as modders. So when we made the game, we knew that we were making the game for modders like ourselves. Since the announcement of the game and all the attention that we received afterwards, we started the process of making some pretty big changes on our...
Yeah, dude, spent all the effort sucking up to useless streamers. Yeah, exactly. Dude, oh my god, dude. Knowing what happens next makes this very fun, I must say.
In order to ensure that we're going to be able to players and realize their dream of what the game can be. It's
Irish independence
pretty remarkable
will occur.
when you announce it.
All I'm saying is one day the Irish, the Scottish, the Welsh, they're all gonna get together and form an alliance, and they're gonna secede from the Britbongers and just conquer them, actually, and they're gonna split all of
Dude. You can't even make fucking jokes about it, right? Britbonger. Brit refers to British, you fucking idiot.
all of Britain into 3 parts. The northern part's gonna be Eastern Northern Ireland.
Yes, exactly. The Scottish, the Welsh, and the Northern Irish are British. Well, the Northern Irish might not like that fact, but they are. That's they're part of the United Kingdom. Great Britain.
The middle part's gonna be Eastern Central Scotland, and the northern part's gonna be Northern Eastern Wales. Okay, and that's how it's gonna be. All right, that's what's going to happen, and I'm going to lead this great push. All right.
Trailer for the first time, and you know, before the game,
the whole squad laughing.
You're getting fan art, you're getting tattoos, you're getting cosplays and props. Subreddits are developing.
Dude, free the Scottish. You know, well, I can't remember when the referendum was. The Scottish had a referendum about independence, and they voted against independence. They voted to remain part of the United Kingdom. Like, dude, it's so annoying when people just say stupid shit about, you know, my country, and they got no fucking clue what they're talking about.
And the community is just showing you so much love. It's a lot of pressure as well. So we knew that we started to need some help, and then entering into a partnership with Riot just eventually logically made sense. League came from Dota, which was on Warcraft 3. And so Hytale has come from Hypixel, the server, which was on Minecraft. And so that story is pretty unusual in the industry. And so we felt like there was a lot of lessons that we could maybe learn and advice that we could get for that journey. And so we met them way before the trailer was announced. And even back then, before, you know, we had proven that the audience was interested, Riot was interested, they supported us with advice and investment when we first established Hypixel Studios.
Oh, the vaping! The fucking vaping rings, dude! Oh my god, it's so cringe.
In 2020. So that's enough of the context. Here to tell you more about the game itself is Sean McCafferty, our COO.
Here's the good shit. Here's the content. Look how this is a newer thing they added in the world generation since the last time we saw this game. Because this trailer followed a very long dark period of no updates.
Listen, without getting into spoilers, it just, like, you should never get too invested in an unreleased game. I was, you know, Duke Nukem 3D was a game that I played when I was growing up. And then when I heard Duke Nukem Forever was going to come out, I was like, oh, that sounds good. I didn't get super invested in it, but I was obviously somewhat excited about it. And then it didn't come out for years. And then when it did, it fucking sucked, right? Like, just be cautious about getting too hyped about unreleased games, especially ones which, you know, I mean, you know, especially one that's been in development for a long time already. Okay.
This like these pillars they added to the to the field, the plains biome are so cool, and these little like raised like little plateaus, and like this this is so cool. They added these little things as like a way to break up big open areas so they don't seem mundane and empty.
Yeah, I've not played. I've not played the. Maybe I should actually, as a classic Duke Nukem fan. But yeah, I heard the builds got released and they're somewhat playable now, I think.
Create an avatar and set out to leave your mark on an immersive fantasy world. As an avatar, you have the power to reshape yourself and the world.
Yeah, so true, Jacob. Yeah. Zanny's the kind of guy that would watch a trailer for this trailer for a Peter Molyneux game and be like, "Wow, all of that is definitely going to be in the game with no exception. Incredible."
Want to make expressing your creativity feel like magic, and to take everything we love about the block game genre and combine it with our favorite parts of classic fantasy RPGs. You'll go on adventures in a world called Orbis. Here you have the freedom to craft, build, explore, and take on challenges with your friends. Our goal is to build a world that feels immersive and inviting no matter what you choose to do.
Wait till you see the PvP.
Guys, the PvP.
Wait till you see the PvP.
Barry's watched this before off stream, and now he's excitedly rewatching it with his stream, pointing out, oh yeah, wait till, guys, the PvP, guys, wait till you see the PvP. Well, that's the problem, isn't it, Zaddy? You're only ever going to be seeing it, not playing it. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Beyond Orbis, you'll have the opportunity to compete and express yourself through minigames and other forms of social play. No matter what you and your friends are up to, we want to make sure that you'll be able to come together, hang out, share experience.
So there are completely different. Basically, what determines your class in this game is what weapons and armor you decide to use. That's how your class is determined in this game. Do you know if it's cross-platform? Yes, it is completely cross-platform with mobile, PC, and console. But they have said they will not be compromising with the PC version to accommodate consoles and mobile. So whether or not the mobile and console versions will perform well, like in terms of performance, is a question, but they have said the game is very well optimized. Apparently you can run the game at max and have it look very nice and like a pretty shitty laptop.
You can run the game? Oh, wow. Can't wait for its release date to see what all the hype's about.
Which is pretty well optimized. It's going to going to be
dude.
significantly better optimized than Minecraft. Also, for modders, they will be enabling modding quite strongly. They are going to, as a built-in feature in the game, give modders the exact same tools they used to make the game in the first place.
Wow. And
they are going to allow modders to both monetize their content through, I think, like advertisements on like the download page for their mod. They're gonna find a way to monetize it without having to fuck over players, I think. Okay, so basically your class in the game is going to be determined by your gear, what weapons you're using, and what armor you're wearing, rather than like allocating points into different areas and then like leveling up in that area. It's going to be basically
Hypixel sounds epic, Zan. Can't wait. Thanks for telling me about it. I've just wishlisted it. I can't wait for it to come out.
Focused on what gear you're using, which I really like. And you're going to see a fighting style with two like daggers and a big mace. You're going to see 2 daggers versus a big mace and see like the difference in fighting style. And there's like special abilities for each weapon too, and you'll see them on display here.
And establish your own identity.
Oh my god, dude. Is this the PvP?
Underpinning all
What do you think of that combat? What do you think of that PvP? That's some good PvP, huh?
Oh my god.
How's that look compared to Minecraft? Breathtaking? Hell yeah.
All of this.
Breathtaking.
Tools that are intended to help creators undertake the same sort of journey
my God,
that
dude.
we have. These range from advanced block building tools to an in-game modding interface that lets you reconfigure gameplay itself. We intend to empower you to create everything from new creatures to whole new game modes. Our goal with these tools is to both empower the existing modding community.
I don't know, man. I don't know what the hype. He's getting so hyped about something. It's like, okay, well, that looks like all right, I guess. But he's like super excited about it.
And clear the way for a generation of new creators. We want to pave the way from creative play, expressing yourself with all the freedom the bugs provide, all the way to Creative Pro, making mods and sharing them with the community.
So Hytale is a very ambitious game, but with Riot's support and some of the resources.
That's all the gameplay that they really show. But I think that gets across to you what I mean by the block game genre, the block game sandbox exploration building genre can be done well. Minecraft can even be done well. All that it's lacking is a goal. Killing the Ender Dragon isn't enough of a goal, because what are you killing the Ender Dragon for? Maybe if killing the Ender Dragon gave you a really cool weapon that made you basically a god that could fly around and destroy anything you look at, maybe like that would be cool. Maybe you could hatch the Ender Dragon and ride it around. That would be a cool, interesting reward for beating the game, having a literal dragon.
Bro, the thing is, can't you just mod this in Minecraft if you want to? Right? Like, obviously, it's a bit of, you know, but Minecraft essentially give you the building blocks, if you like, of the baseline experience, and then you can mod it to your heart's desire. And I'm sure there's lots of mods where you get special stuff if you defeat the Ender Dragon. So why do you need a whole ass fucking game in development when there's probably a bunch of mods that already do this for you?
Flying mount? That would be awesome. Elytra, I guess, are kind of like that, but how cool would a dragon mount be? I don't know. These are just different.
Minecraft is a sandbox game. The point is not to have a specific end goal that you then complete it. It's just like a sandbox. It is the literal definition of a sandbox experience, where they give you a bunch of tools, and then there's a few bits and pieces you can do, but generally you do what you want with it. So stupid to act like there needs to be a definitive goal or something in it. That's not the kind of game that Minecraft is. Exactly, you do whatever the fuck you want. That's the point of Minecraft.
Things that I think they could potentially do to improve Minecraft, because at the moment I don't feel like there's a reason to build a cool house in that world other than to build it.
Thank you.
Because
thank you for the birthday returns to the guys.
It's not your base of operations for anything serious. You don't have a goal, and you're like making your base of operations to achieve that goal look nice like you will in Hytale. You've got a final boss to beat in Hytale. When you're making your house, you're making your home to live in while you're brewing your potions and getting geared up for the next dungeon, so you can do a dungeon crawl for better loot, so you can go do the next story quest, and that's what Hytale's going to be like. And that's the significance of your house in a game like that. So there's going to be more reason to put more work into it. Another game that I think is very comparable to Hytale, and I know that comparing games can, lead to bad things, but they all stand on their own. But I think there can be comparisons drawn between games. Every good game has taken influence from other good games and built on it, and that's what I think Hytale's doing. Terraria is a game where I put so much more work into my builds than I ever would in Minecraft, because I know I'm in it for the long haul. When I am beating the final boss in Terraria, it's going to be months down the road, so I've got time to build up my house. Right. The only reason I ever find myself building up my house to look nice in Minecraft is because I've beaten the game now and I'm bored and there's nothing else to do.
Right, okay, so we can end that there. That gives you an idea of what you're dealing with. So Xanderhal is super obsessed with this fucking Hytale game. That isn't the only time that he's talked about it. He's talked about it multiple times on stream. Okay? And my Xanderhal A-log here says, notably, Xan has always shrugged off the doubters that Hytale was stuck in development hell. Now, there's not any clips of that, but I can easily imagine Xanderhal dismissing people claiming it's in development hell as, FUD. Fear, uncertainty, doubt, or something like that. He probably played it off as like, oh no, it's fine, the game's going to come out and all this stuff, right? Now, there have been some issues when it comes to Hytale. Because despite being in development for years and years and years, a decade at this point, right? Despite being in development for, a decade, they have not managed, even with Riot Games acquiring the studio in 2020, they had still not managed to deliver anything, not even an early access or a beta. So when a game has been in development for a long time, you would normally expect something in this day and age to come out. Early access, beta, whatever, something. Some sort of gameplay that people can see the game's coming along. But they had released nothing for a decade. Okay? And now, in the last couple of days, there was an announcement from the team developing Hytale. So now we're going to start to piece together why we're looking at this and why this is funny. Okay? There was a little development that came out, okay? No. A difficult update about Hytale. Hey everyone. Today, I shared some incredibly tough news with the Hypixel Studios team. We're ending development on Hytale and beginning the process of winding down Hypixel Studios over the next few months. So this game that Xanderhal is hyped to the high heavens, been super excited about, and claimed that it's not stuck in development hell, despite the fact there's no beta, no early access, nothing, has now announced 2 days ago that not only are they winding down the development of the game, they're winding down the development studio. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, in 10 years, they've released nothing. They've presumably done some development somewhere, but they've released nothing. And this game that Xander was hyped up and hyped up and hyped up is now fucking done. And they're not doing it. Getting that hyped over a game that never comes out. I mean, it's just classic Xanderhal L, really, isn't it? In fact, to show you how obsessed he is, someone's just linked me this. So these are all the times he's mentioned Hytale. Oh, wait. Oh, no, you got it wrong. I suppose, maybe it's going to pick it up on Hytale. So I'm guessing this is referencing Hytale, right? But yeah, I mean, he's referenced it a lot. I mean, there's results all over the place. So anyway, he has been very excited about this. Let's read on. This is not the outcome any of us at Hypixel or Riot wanted, but after years of pushing forward, adapting and exploring every possible path, it became clear we couldn't bring Hytale to life in a way that truly delivered on its promise. Game development is brutally hard, especially when you're trying to build something original that speaks to a creative, passionate community. Over time, as our vision evolved and the genre matured around us, the bar kept rising. Our technical ambitions grew more complex, and even after a major reboot of the game engine, the team found that Hytale still wasn't as far along as it needed to be. It became clear we need a lot more time to get into a place where it could support the ambitious vision for the game. Bro, how? I don't get, dude. Look at all these updates as well. All these fucking updates for nothing. Even as recently as March, spring development update. We looked at reducing scope, adjusting timelines. Adjusting timelines? 10 years? Oh my... What have you been doing for 10 years, bro? This is ridiculous. And with and Riot Games putting a fucking boost of cash into you too. I think it's quite obvious that Riot Games, when they took over, they obviously want eventually for a game to come out. And they probably recognised that they're like not doing anything. They're not where they need to be, and it's just a money sink, and so they're cutting their losses. That's my guess of what's happened here, right? And without Riot Games taking over, this is one of those games that would just be in development hell for years and years and years, and it never comes out. But Riot Games purchasing it actually made it so they had to make a game, and now they've not made a game, so Riot Games is presumably not funding it anymore. That's my guess. They probably thought, buy the studio, game comes out in a couple of years, we make some money off of it, off of the Minecraft hype, boom, we're done. But there's nothing ever came out. Is there even an alpha of the game? Like, there's nothing. They've got nothing to show for 10 years, it seems. Publicly, at least, they've got nothing to show. But each of these options would have meant compromising on what made Hytale special in the first place. It wouldn't have been the game we set out to make, and it wouldn't have been the game you deserve. This is a painful decision. We still believe in Hytale. We believe in the team that are forever grateful to every member, past or present, the risks we took, and the heart we poured into this project. None of that can be taken away. And just to clarify, this doesn't affect the Hypixel server on Minecraft. It's run separately from Hypixel Studios and will continue to operate as usual. We're also deeply grateful to Riot, not just for the years of support and the opportunities they gave us, but for the care they're showing our team during this transition. They supported us in going out into the world to see if there were any investors or acquirers who continue to help carry Hytale forward. And now as we begin to wind things down, they're ensuring our team is supported with generous severance and resources to help them find what's next. It's not just thoughtful, it's human, and it shows a genuine effort to take care of people behind the work. To our community, thank you. Your belief in Hytale keeps us going through thick and thin. Your energy, creativity, and support inspired us to do the best work of our lives. Even though we won't be the ones to bring the game to the world, we still believe in what it stood for and in the incredible potential of the genre. Even though we're closing this chapter, the spirit of Hytale and everything we hoped it could be will stay with us. We're proud of what we built, and we'll carry those lessons forward into whatever comes next. With love and deep gratitude, Noxie, co-founder Hypixel Studios. So do you remember when Xanderhal was banging on about Notch being a transphobe? And it's like he's shilling these creators because they're like trans people. And they don't even fucking release a game. And, you know, destroy their, wind down their own studio, probably because it's a total money sink for Riot Games. So anyway, guys, you've got Xanderhal hyping the game up, a game that's obviously in development hell, doesn't realize it. Inevitably, the game doesn't come out, and they end up winding down the studio, presumably because it's a money sink for Riot Games. And what do we have next? Well, of course, we've now got Xanderhal's response to this. Okay. We have now got Xanderhal's response to this. Let's have a little look and see how Zanny took the news, shall we? Let's see how old Zanny took the news of this. Okay.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do
I
make
must say,
money off depressed
Hey,
people?
thank you for the super chat.
I am not having a good one. It has not been a good few days since last I saw you guys, as I received some admittedly downright devastating news.
Okay. Some sort of family death, or, you know, someone's got ill in your family, you need to deal with that. Some sort of terrible financial issue has befallen you.
Hytale.
Oh, okay.
No doubt the most anticipated game of my life has been canceled.
I think you need to get your priorities in order, bro. I mean, a game being cancelled might be personally disappointing for you, but it's hardly a reason to start a stream up acting like some terrible fate has befallen you. It's ridiculous, bro.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Womp womp.
But how do I make money off
Thank you for the
depressed
super
people?
chat. Looking exquisitely age-riddled today, Mr. Zan.
Just completely canceled.
Okay, that's wonderful.
It's done,
But how
dude.
do I make money?
I'll be doing a whole
Hey!
segment about
True
it in
Reset
a little
became a member.
Thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for that. It's very generous.
Okay, that's
Appreciate that.
wonderful.
bit, but I just wanted to lead with that. Let you guys know I am so bummed about it. And, man, it's gonna be a while before I'm not, like, actively upset. You know, like, I am currently upset about it, Like, it is actively affecting my mood, and it will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. Hang on, what is Hytale? Hawk, don't even ask. Don't even ask what Hytale is. You'll find out when I do a segment on it, but honestly, you're better off not knowing, because more likely than not, you're going to join us in lamenting our loss of its existence. Why'd they have to rewrite the whole ass engine? Correction, why'd they have to rewrite it 3 times? And the answer is they wanted to allow it to be played by more people. And
bro, yeah, that is like, dude. Classic development hell, multiple, like, tweaking, fucking about with the engine. That is like classic development hell game. And he presumably knew this. And he just didn't have any concerns and didn't have any issue up until the day it got fucking cancelled.
Last longer and perform better, but I don't know if it was the best option.
Yeah, they wanted to make it playable for more people. Now it's not getting played by anyone.
TBH, I'm not surprised that it was cancelled. Yeah, the doubters were right. Get it over with. If they just stuck with Java, it'd probably be out by now. It would definitely have been out by now if they stuck with Java. The reason why it wasn't out years ago is because they decided to delay it and rewrite the engine. I'm going to talk much more about it, but yes, it's quite It's quite upsetting. I mean, I've waited 7 years for this game, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
7 years.
Alright.
Let me repeat that. 7 years. Java has worked perfectly fine for Minecraft. Well, I wouldn't say relatively or perfectly fine, to be honest. It's, Bedrock Edition exists for a reason. Well, Aimway 921, Hytale was cancelled. It's over, dude. The wait for Hytale has finally ended, and it ended in the worst possible way. Makes me slightly worried for the future of Silksong, but not enough to become a doubter. I'm gonna be honest, you should never trust a game studio. Well, not a studio, but a publisher.
Oh, wow, bro. Public what?
Never trust a game publisher.
Okay, I gotta be honest with you. How the fuck can you possibly pin this on Riot Games? Riot Games came along after the game had already been in development for 5 years, bought it, presumably thinking they were eventually going to release the fucking game, and then I'm guessing that they never did, and they never put anything out that was like, you know, plausible, and so they've eventually decided to pull the plug. How the fuck is this on Riot Games? Like, obviously, say what you want about Riot Games. I'm sure there's other things you can talk about there, but this seems to be the developer at fault. No.
Howdy, Zam. I'm not Zam. Howdy, Zan. A Dem candidate has announced they're running for Texas governor. His name is Bobby Cole. Ah, so close to Bobby Hill.
Bro, politics, Trump, American fucking fascism is on the rise. Sorry, Hytale's been cancelled. Can we take a moment to mourn?
Could it be possible they'll leak the code? I highly doubt it. I don't believe we'll get any serious leaks.
No, because I don't think any code's been meaningfully produced. There's nothing to leak, I'm guessing.
Have you heard of Vintage Story? Yes, I have, Hawk. In fact, I planned for us to play some of it tonight on stream after segments, assuming we've got time. True, Catman.
I mean, you know, obviously, it's fine to care about whatever you want to care about. It's just he's obviously making such a fucking meal out of this. And it's only because he retardedly, you know, got so excited about this game that was obviously stuck in development hell.
We're truly in the bad timeline? That is so accurate, Grazitrite. I was just saying that earlier. Are we talking NYC elections?
Yeah, also, dude, assuming we have time, and we'll get to this as well, there's another comment to make at the end of this bit. In a 2.5-hour stream. Sounds like you're not making time, to be honest, mate, if your stream's 2.5 hours long.
Tonight, I'm very happy with the outcome. I don't know if we'll have time for it. Maybe tomorrow. Where were you when Hytale died? Exactly. Rip Hytale, everybody. Big R.I.P. Hytale. I cannot express to you guys how much more... Like how excited I was for this game. I like... Bro... I wasn't really hyped. The Warframe update comes out tomorrow. I mean, listen, I was the most hyped, dude. Rip Hytale. You will be missed. The death of Hytale is like hearing when the Pentagon was struck. Dude, this is literally my personal 9/11, man. This is my personal 9/11.
That sounds absurd, but it's probably true. He probably does genuinely feel that way about it. I mean, it's a fucking video game stuck in development hell not coming out. Like, dude, it's not that fucking deep. Just relax, okay? But yeah, he genuinely probably feels like that about it. It's ridiculous.
That's the only fair way to describe this. I feel like I've had a plane driven through my heart. A second plane has hit the Hytale. Oh no. Might I suggest Deltarune? I promise you that it's not my kind of game. It's not gonna scratch the itch that Hytale was gonna scratch. Warframe update is the reason I still have sanity after.
Bro, 1,000. Dude, this guy is just like streaming to an ever diminishing audience. It is like scary. Scary how fucking much he's circling the drain, dude. How can he? How many donations did he get this stream, I wonder? I just wonder how he's able to support himself if he's getting like what, $60 a stream, I guess. I mean, I guess it's better than what's his face, Gaming for Hope earlier that we were looking at. Dude, it's pretty fucking rough.
For this news, I hope you're okay. Zan, turn on the TV. What do you mean turn on the TV? What's going on? Oh, because the Pentagon has been struck. That is to say, Hytale. I come in to shaved Zan. Well, you guys don't like me shaved? I even still have a little bit of my stub. A little bit of my stubble is here, you know? It's there. In the next few days, though, it's gonna grow out and I'll have to shave it again. Oh no, Mr. Spaceman. I'm sorry. Man. I'm so sad, folks.
Dude, he's just
so
sat there
fucking
distraught.
sad, dude.
He's distraught about this game. It's ridiculous, dude. What's this guy's problem?
How you doing, Zan? Very bad.
Bro, here's how a normal person reacts. Oh, yeah, that was a shame. I was looking forward to that. But, you know, this is what happens with games sometimes. So be it. He's literally distraught. Looking to do a fucking segment about it. About a fucking game in development hell not coming out.
Trans Goddess Rosie Star. I've never been more upset. Literally never. Absolutely melting with how hot it is. I'm very sorry to hear that you're dealing with a heat wave, Volkermezio. My dogs just stole the broccoli I just cooked, and they're the saddest I've seen them from now that they've been caught. Aw, they're all guilty. That's adorable.
So anyway, this is just like the intro, okay? This is when he starts getting into it for real, okay? Now I'm hoping there's some gems in here. And then the end of this is probably what looks like the funniest part. So let's jump ahead a bit.
Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3,
I'll speed up a bit as well because it's quite
2,
long, I think.
1, action. This is a really, really hard video for me to make for a variety of reasons. I've never...
People say... Dude, he's like imitating when YouTubers make a video about a serious topic for his fucking gay video game not coming out. Oh, this is so hard for me to talk about. It's a fucking video game not coming out, you bad child.
Felt this disappointed about a wait before. I've definitely had my trust broken. I've had my heart broken by game...
Dude, the problem is as well, is normally you would look at a game and the longer it goes on, you would eventually be like, okay, well, this probably isn't coming out. You would be realistic about it. So the idea that he's sat there, literally on fucking bated breath, like waiting for years, with no fucking doubt in his mind that it's going to come out is ridiculous.
And movie releases not being what they were hyped up to be or even coming out at all, from like games like Dead Matter to PT Silent Hills to The Day Before. And I always knew to be skeptical, but never has there been a game that came along and felt so inevitable and too good not to be true that I threw all that out the window and hung on blindly to faith that a game like this could never fail. It could never not come out. There were tons of doubters, and I would always, you know, shrug off the doubters, say the doubters are cringe, yada yada.
Oh my god, dude, he was literally doing the fear, uncertainty, doubt meme for fucking some shit a gay game. Oh my god, this is so funny!
But Hytale was a game that was announced all the way back in 2018. Well, technically, mumblings of it came way before that, but it wasn't properly announced, the big trailer, until 2018, in December. And it was a massive trailer. It pulled 40 million views in the first, year it was out, and in the years that have followed, it's gotten all the way up to 60 million views on the first original announcement trailer.
Wow.
And since then, we have waited a colossal 7 years. Until today, when we received the devastating news that Hytale's development was fully cancelled.
Dude, most people would have waited a couple of years, not heard anything from it, seen a couple of updates and gone, yeah, this isn't coming out, and gone about their fucking business, right? It is a testament to Xanderhal's retardation that he has been clinging on to this for years and years and years. With no update, no alpha play, no, nothing. Just development updates. Nothing tangible that you can actually play.
Let me not get ahead of myself, though. I know not all of you here who are, people that were excited for Hytale followed it as closely as I did, so I'll give you guys a little bit of background. I have been so excited for Hytale since I saw its announcement. I've done everything in my power to be a part of the community that has formed around it for years now. I met some of my best friends through the Hytale community.
Bro, what community?
Took part in events put together by Hytale creators and fans, such as Hytale Thankmas, in which I received a little Quebec miniature from the studio, from the dev studio, as a thank you for us all putting that event together. I felt that this was a group of people who really cared about what they were making, and this let me look past red flags in the plausibility of this game's development. And I got myself overhyped and set myself up for a massive disappointment. And I promise you, I'm not the only one. Social media has been ablaze with this news. And I know I've made this very much about me, but I was very excited for this game. It hit me hard. And so when I woke up the other day, I saw that it was canceled. I've gone through all the stages of grief, and now I'm just sort of in this bitter acceptance stage. But I really want to rewind us and talk about how we got here. Hytale was announced with a massive trailer. And when they announced it, they added a link encouraging people to sign up for the beta. This gave people the impression that launch was relatively close. That
they teased the beta. They teased the beta as well. Oh, this is too good, man. So people were like, oh, excited. Fair enough, you think a beta's coming out. Surely when the beta doesn't come out, at that point you go, okay, this is fucking stupid.
They want people signing up. They announced the game. They want people signing up for the beta. That means within a matter of...
Also, yeah, that's another point as well, right? This, for me, is fun to talk about, and it's fun to laugh at Xanderhal's misfortune, and this will probably be a fairly funny segment for the channel, right? Because people like me laughing at Xanderhal's wretched nature. But why is he talking to his audience about this? Why is he doing a segment about this? This is you can do shitter segments that don't really matter, and you can just do a throwaway segment, if you're doing well and you're successful. Your channel is in the fucking doldrums, mate. Your channel, you're literally begging for likes on your video, and you're putting out a fucking segment about a cancelled video game. When people are watching you for presumably primarily political commentary on dunking on chuds. Rip Hytale, I'm mad. Alligator Alcatraz Detention Center. Did Trump start World War III? And more.
Months, we might be getting a beta, and within less than a year, the game might be coming out. That was the heavily implied vibes right after the trailer dropped.
Oh my god.
I put many other games that I was playing on hold thinking, in a couple months, Hytale will be out after I watched that trailer. And at first, while the wait was agonizing and started to get a little longer than expected, at least there was a very steady stream of what were called blog posts, these sort of update posts that were full of...
Wow, they put a blog out. Wow, you're a winner, mate, yes. Surely after 5 more blog posts, the game's inevitably going to come out.
Pictures, screenshots, and videos, even some custom OST of Hytale to kind of tide us over until the launch. Over time, though, these updates started to get fewer and fewer and far
Also, that's a
between.
good point, okay? He does get quite low viewers as it is. But you can tell that his chat isn't particularly interested in this because there's no movement. Chat isn't moving. Chat are not engaging with what he's saying. Like, on the screen, you've still got the comments from when he said about, what, 5 minutes ago, about starting a YouTube video. Hey, YouTube. Hello, the YouTubes. And then he's had, ones that aren't related to referencing the YouTube segment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 chat messages. Although, to be fair, maybe there's YouTube chat messages as well. Let's be reasonable here. There could also be YouTube chat messages.
And we started to think, well, I guess they're winding things down with communication because pretty soon they're going to announce the release date.
Oh, no. I can see here you've got Zan turn on the TV. That's a comment that came in about 15 minutes ago when we watched the first part of his stream when he first started talking. Oh my god, dude. His chat is so slow on YouTube that there's a message from about 15 minutes ago on the screen. Maybe it's time to hang up the headphones, Xanderhal. I don't know. Maybe it's time to go and think about getting a real job. Oh my god, dude. This is so rough.
And this was years ago. And yet years into the game's, the wait for the game. We felt confident in 2020 the game was going to drop. There was no way we weren't getting it in 2020, or at least a beta announcement in 2020. No, but instead of a beta announcement, we got the announcement of a multi-year delay, an at least 2-year delay. Necessary because they were going back to the drawing board to rebuild the engine in order to facilitate the game being playable on consoles and mobile devices, not just PC, so it would be cross-platform, and it would probably run better and just be easier to upkeep on the dev side.
I'm doing the pirate software stuff tomorrow.
Side of things. And so behind the scenes, despite the fact many
Too
people
much
were
to
mad
talk
about this
about.
news, for the next 2 years they started working on this new engine. And this new engine, as it turned out, ended up being development hell, from what I've been hearing. Like, that was where they just couldn't make it work. And so now, we're in this situation where Hytale is stuck in development hell, and years are going by, they're barely communicating with us. Riot is bankrolling them as the publisher, and apparently behind the scenes they had hit some kind of deadline, and they ran out of time. They ran out of time to make the game real. And sadly, it's not an independent studio. They weren't just being funded by a studio. They were bought by a studio, and now that they're being shut down by Riot and more or less liquidated, Riot's just going to put the Hytale IP in a vault somewhere to maybe be worked on again.
Bro, why the fuck would Riot want to spend any more money than they already have done on this game that's been stuck in development hell for 5 years since they purchased the fucking studio? People have got, like, look, it's so fucking irritating because there's so many things that you can criticize publishers for. And there's a ton of stuff that you can criticize Riot for, I'm sure. I don't play their games. I don't follow their games that closely. But I'm sure that there's a ton of stuff you can criticize them for. I don't think it's reasonable to be in any way critical of them having spent money on this developer, presumably obviously put money into the development to help to pay their salaries and whatever they need to do, right? Only for nothing to come of that. And then they're setting deadlines and they're not meeting deadlines. Of course, eventually they're going to have to pull the plug on that. That can't continue forever. What, is Riot just supposed to keep funding this, even though there's no seemingly game on the horizon? It's like such an unreasonable expectation that developers have just got to continue to pump money into a big fucking hole endlessly, even though there's no sign of a game on the horizon. The developers are at fault, not Riot. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I would wager that it's far more the developers not fucking doing what they needed to do to get the game out there, rather than Riot being responsible for this.
Maybe be touched again. But really what happened here was, like, Riot just grabbed up Hytale, and now it's up to Riot whether or not a new team ever takes up that IP and makes it a thing. That's the only way that I'm...
But why would they? Why would they spend more money on it, on a game that never fucking seemingly had any chance of even having a beta? Why would they? If anything, Riot are stupid for buying the IP and buying the studio in the first place. But why would they do that?
holding out hope that we get another chance at Hytale existing is if Riot assigns a new team to the project, since they still own the IP. But no one else can make Hytale. Yeah, no, of course no one else can make Hytale. They fully own the copyright. That's how that works, KGB. So, yeah, I feel this is a cautionary tale for indie developers. Absolutely. If you're an indie game developer or aspiring indie game developer watching right now, then this is absolutely a warning that you need to keep an eye on. Anyway...
Okay, so then what is an independent developer supposed to do? The reason an independent developer will be open to being purchased by a publisher like that is because they want the fucking money. They want the capital to put into their fucking game. If anything, them remaining independent would have fucked them over even harder and fucked you over even harder because you've been hanging on for longer because they'd have been able to string you along for years and years and years potentially, like a lot of other independent games do. It's just, like, I get, like, it's just, you're upset about this game fucking ending. I don't think it's Riot's fault. Riot shouldn't have bought it in the first place. And Riot purchasing it presumably brought the situation to a head so that they then thought, right, this is going nowhere, we're pulling the plug. Like, where do these fucking retards think capital comes from? How do they think it works? This is standard business where you've got a smaller entity, or an independent entity, that needs money, so they accept whatever they need to lose in the purchase because they get money from the purchase and they benefit. They get cash flow that they can then put into the product they're trying to make. And this is like not uncommon that a smaller entity gets absorbed into a larger business and it isn't productive and then therefore gets cut, people get moved, it gets wound down, whatever the case may be.
Make Hytale. Yeah, no, of course no one else can make Hytale. They fully own the copyright. That's how that works, KGB. So, yeah, I feel this is a cautionary tale for indie developers. Absolutely. If you're an indie game developer or aspiring indie game developer...
Yeah, the cautionary tale is, right, make a game. Don't fuck about for years and make a game. Not, don't get purchased by a big fucking publisher, because it could be beneficial for you and allow you to finish a game that you otherwise wouldn't.
For watching right now, then this is absolutely a warning that you need to keep an eye on. Anyway, to kind of give a little more of a breakdown of the situation, I've got a video here from a friend of mine and a really good Hytale content creator named Quebec Corner. He made a video talking about the cancellation of Hytale yesterday. He's just as devastated as all of us, pretty much. And he does a pretty good job of just laying out all the information, all the posts we've gotten from the people behind Hytale. I want to be clear here, no harassment to any of the devs at Hytale or anything. I don't want to, encourage any negativity, but, I'm just kind of ranting about this.
Told you so is a phrase that gets thrown around a lot. So get it out now, write your comments, and we can just get straight into things. Hytale has officially been cancelled. I haven't uploaded in 3 months, so...
I cannot believe...
Oh, dude, an entire channel dedicated to Hytale. Ooh. Although, to be fair, it does seem like he does other stuff, so he'll probably be okay. But he's clearly invested a lot of time in this.
The doubters were right, dude. I cannot believe it.
Did I know? Well, no. I had 2 videos.
Bro, how retarded do you have to be? I can't believe the doubters are right. What, for doubting that a game that's been in development for 7 or 8 years likely isn't coming out? I mean, dude, it's like the foregone conclusion of that situation.
Works. I was planning a feature-length documentary, and when I last spoke to the team, everything seemed fine. So this really has hit me like a ton of bricks. Now, Quebecs don't swear, so I'll save the profanities for any future live streams or content I may end up doing, but the CEO of Hypixel Studios, Noxy, tweeted on June 23rd that he had shared some incredibly tough news with the Hypixel Studios team, that they are ending the development of Hytale and will also be closing down. So not just telling us, but they just told the team. Riot has officially...
It was such an abrupt post as well. There was no, attempt to flower it up. There was very little to no corporate speak. It was just very in-your-face, straightforward. We failed. The project is done. Everything we said we could do, it was all a lie.
Well, yeah, because it's over. What the fuck? How else are you supposed to put it? Yeah, it's fucked. It's done. It's fucking rhubarb. What do you expect?
A lie, but we were wrong about being able to do it. We shouldn't have promised what we promised. Man, it's so sad because they implored us so strongly in their communications in the lead up to this announcement over the last 7 years of waiting to trust them and to try and just wait for it. It's ready when it's ready. and not to worry because, you know, they've got Riot support and they've got all the time and money they need. And this was the reality of the situation, that they weren't communicating with us.
Hey, Pilkington, thank you for the gifted kick sub. Appreciate that. Thank you.
It's very disappointing.
Pulled the plug on the game. They've cut their losses after hundreds of millions have probably been invested into this project. Noxie said this is not the outcome any of us at Hypixel or at Riot wanted, but after years of pushing forward, adapting, trying to explore possibilities in every path, it became clear that they couldn't bring Hytale to life in a way that truly delivered on that promise. I mean, maybe they just had their blinders on for a while and assumed that they did have that vision and that they were aiming in the right direction, but maybe it is just a case of, you know, being in an echo chamber for years, developing a game, assuming that it's all going to work out perfectly, and then in reality, when you step outside and look at things from the perspective of, say, like a Riot executive or an investor in the game, it suddenly becomes a lot more complicated. And sadly, that's just the truth of game development. This is the industry, and we've seen this happen time and time again.
Yes, exactly. This guy's speaking sense. It is just the reality of gaming.
Have been burned and learned, right, Chud? I remember all the losers thinking No Man's Sky was going to be the best game ever made. Wow.
Thank you for the super chat. Dude, there's loads of games that get announced and haven't come out. And yeah, it sucks if you're like interested in a game, but that's just being a gamer, isn't it? You know, you got to fucking... You get to a point where you're like, maybe the first game that you get super excited about. But then, even then, you still are not this cut up about it. Have you ever been this cut up about a game not coming out before? I can't think of a game I've been this cut up about. You know, I played Duke Nukem Forever and it sucked, and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. That's a shame. And that was it. That was the end of it, you know? Maybe if you were like a child, if you were like an 8-year-old child, you might feel like this about the game Hytale not coming out. But he's supposed to be a man. The fuck?
It's especially hard when you're trying to build something original that speaks to creative, passionate communities, and that over time, as their vision evolved and the genre matured.
Technoblade was ready to play Hytale. Thank you for the $2 Scapeago. It's true. Technoblade was one of the biggest content creators out there, super hyped for Hytale. And it was, you know, obviously a big tragedy that Technoblade died before getting to play this game because he was as hyped as the rest of us were. He was on the Hytale hype train big time. He wanted to play this game before he died, no doubt. I know he did. And,
well, at least he passed away believing it was going to come out at some point. At least we can take some solace in that, at least.
The fact that it will never even exist, I don't know what's more tragic. It existing, but he never got to play it, or him having longed to play it, having died thinking he didn't live.
The worst outcome would be him dying on the day it's announced it's getting cancelled. Let's be realistic here, okay? I think this is probably better than that alternative universe.
To play it, but it never ends up existing for anyone anyway. Like, which is more tragic? Like, I don't know. It is sad. It is sad. Technoblade was big on the Hypixel Hytale train. Unfortunately, we'll never get to see the promised tribute to Technoblade that the Hypixel devs promised would be in Hytale.
You need to chill more if they've turned off your electricity, bro. I just forgot to switch my light on earlier. And it was fine earlier because natural light makes it okay. But now it's getting a bit darker. Guys, help me, please. My electricity's been cut. They're coming for me.
So, unfortunate. Larry Banks 78, thank you for the $5 super chat donation. I really appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Very base too. Says Mojang wins by doing nothing and will continue that way for years to come. I can imagine someone at Microsoft saying Hytale canceled and let Mojang do their usual since it works for them. Yeah, it really does feel like the fire that's been under Mojang's ass since the Aquatic update has just gone out. We'll find out whether or not Mojang decides to keep up the momentum on updating the game, but with very little competition on the horizon right now, it really does feel like, yeah. Etika 2, good point, Sorlem. I literally found out about Hytale because of Etika's reaction to Hytale. He reacted to the Hytale trailer, and that's how I saw the Hytale trailer. So as you can imagine, like, in an awkward way, considering I found out about Hytale because of Etika, I'm sure I would have found out about it regardless, but that just happened to be the first place I saw it. Like, the dread I felt when I found out Hytale was canceled was much the same as, like, whenever Etika would have his, like, disappearance streaks, and everyone was, like, super worried about him. It's like, man.
Oh my god, Alfredo, that's a horrendous thing to say. This game took so long, all these people are dead. Bro. That is fucking sickening, dude. Bro. It's that meme of like waiting for eggs to come out and then you turn into a skeleton. It's fucking that meme. Hey, a Pilgerton, thank you for the other gifted kick sub. That's super generous, thank you. Thank you for that.
Like, this is just, you know, I'm crying over internet shit now. I'm crying over internet shit, but it's sad. It really is. Man.
But around them, the bar just kept on rising. They wanted to do more technically, they wanted to get more complex, and even after a major reboot of the game engine, having to go back and rewrite everything, it apparently became clear to them that they'd need a lot more time to get it to a place where it could support the ambitious vision that they had. I want to stop for a minute because I don't want to just read out what he tweeted. I want to take a second to just, you know, take this impact and a deep breath with you guys. It's not often that I go improv and avoid a script for a video, but in this one, I really do only have a few bullet points. I want to talk from the heart, and besides reading out this tweet, I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, I get it. It sucks. We've been waiting for this game for 6 years, and to hear this, you know, the cold, hard truth of it is something that, from our perspective, doesn't make any sense. You know, they've been communicating with us, and they've been saying that their communication has been...
Look how fucking pleasant the game looks, too. It looks like the kind of world that you just want to vibe
Wow,
out.
yeah, this fantasy game that exists now only in our heads is great. Also, it's like... It's like, obviously, the reason it was sudden is because Riot probably pulled the plug, and it was probably quite sudden for them too. You know? And or maybe they did have some inkling where they wanted to keep the hope going and keep the hope alive or something. I don't fucking know. But like, yeah, these things do happen quite suddenly sometimes. And often it is a result. I mean, you know, from Riot's perspective, they're probably getting a bit fucking pissed off. The executives, investors, whatever, are getting annoyed that all this money and time is going into this and nothing's coming out of it, you know? And also, it's like, time's moved on from 2020.
Okay, that's wonderful.
When the hype of
But
this
how
was
do I
probably
make
at its
money
peak,
off
you know?
depressed people?
Never even heard of this gamer. Life well lived. Womp.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Oh, also, dude, fuck. It's past 9 for me. I'll finish this segment. I'll finish this Xanderhal bit because there's more funny bits to happen yet. I'll do another little cheeky goal. Try and squeeze some more fucking birthday super chats out. Come on, let's go.
You know? Like, you just see this and you're like, I
Come
want to
on.
cut down some of those trees. I want to find a nice spot to build a cabin. And I just want to chill out and listen to the fire crackle.
Can't you do that in
And mind you, as
Minecraft?
nice as all this looks, this was work in progress. They assured us through the entire development, keep in mind, this isn't even how nice the game's going to look on launch. It's going to look nicer. This is all still work in progress, as you see on the top left of the screen. Obviously not anymore, but it's just, it's so tragic. Truly, like, the closest to scratching this itch you can get these days now is going to be playing Vintage Story. Like, down to the zone design and, like, the design of the biomes, like, Vintage Story definitely evokes a familiar feeling. As it should, because the Vintage Story developer is an ex-Hytale developer and is probably largely themselves responsible for much of the flourish and flavor of what we recognize in Hytale, so it kind of makes sense.
Been transparent and updated, so it does hurt to know that deep down on the inside they knew that they weren't reaching what they needed to reach to get to where they needed to be. They tried to reduce scope, they adjusted timelines, they tried to find new angles to keep moving forward, but just every time that they had an option, it meant compromising on what made Hytale special in the first place. They were just going to end up with another standard game, you know, just one of these titles that doesn't change the industry, and we know that Hypixel Studios wanted to do that from the get-go. He said this is a painful...
Like, look how pretty the
Okay, that's
foliage and,
wonderful.
like...
But how do I make money off depressed people?
How do you think the cancellation will affect the 41% statistics? Wow.
I wouldn't like to comment on such things, but thank you for the super chat nonetheless.
environment looks, dude.
Bro,
Like,
it's just Minecraft pixels. What is he on
Okay,
about?
that's wonderful. But how do
Mad
I
the
Dog,
fact
thank
that they
you for the
were-
membership.
It's a block game, too. That's what's so, like, bizarre to me about what even took so long, you know?
Doctor
Is that it's
celebrates 9 months
Thank you,
of
guys.
membership. Happy birthday.
You guys have been very
Wow.
generous today. Most successful birthday stream of my career. So thank you for that, guys.
a block game. I get that a block game isn't something you can, like, throw together immediately, but, like, man, it feels like it's not that hard of a game type to make, right?
So far.
Like, this kind of game. Like, the basis of it feels like it should be something relatively simple to create. You know, one man did it in a cave with a box of scraps. His name was Notch. And so, like...
Wait, what was that? I thought Notch was a terrible transphobe. But at least he can make a fucking game.
It feels like it should be something relatively simple to create.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, one man
How
did it
do
in a
I
cave
make
with a box of
money
scraps. His
off
name was
depressed
Notch.
people?
You
Exactly.
became a member.
So maybe there's something to be said about that. Maybe there's something to be said about Notch's ability to just
Okay,
release a
that's
game
wonderful. But
with a
how do I
box of
make
scraps.
money off depressed people?
TL became a member.
Futile Pathos, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, also, yes,
Okay,
dude.
that's wonderful.
Subcat
How
has
do
been
I
up and
make
down this
money
month.
off depressed people?
Space Girl became a member.
But if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And maybe we might hit 50k this month. Who knows?
How do I make money off depressed people?
So thank you, Futile Pathos, for the 5 gifted. And thank you, Kenyanon, for the very generous, also 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that.
And so, like, I don't know. It's frustrating to me that, like, so many people are going to come out of this thinking, you should have always known this was going to fail. How could a game like this, you know, a game that outdoes Minecraft, ever actually exist? It's like, no, Minecraft actually is not the greatest execution of the genre it's basically defined and started. We need another step forward. We need that next evolution that pushes the bar of what a blocky sandbox can be. This game was going to be an RPG with a storyline and questing and stuff, at least in the adventure mode. Extensive modding support, extensive server and community support.
Couldn't you get all that with Minecraft? Dude, this is what's so bizarre about this. Just mod Minecraft. And that's literally you're laughing. And also, there's a reason that Minecraft wasn't that, because that isn't what the market, obviously, well, that's not what the block game market wants, I don't think. And also, like, there are more story-focused Minecraft games that have come out now as well, so you can get that from Minecraft too. Like, what is it? My boys have played it before. There's one where you kind of walk down a path and hit things with a sword.
It's just, this was supposed to be the next big evolution. Not necessarily the Minecraft killer, but, like, you know, like, it was supposed to be almost the half-life of the block game genre. Just taking things to a whole other level that people never thought was possible.
Dungeons, yeah.
Change the industry, and we know that Hypixel Studios wanted to do that from the get-go. He said this is a painful decision, but we still believe in Hytale, we believe in the team, and are forever grateful of every member, past or present, who poured their love into the game.
The team are really good people. Every single team member I've spoken to or interacted with has been extremely, like, based and kind, so I will say that. Obviously, I mean no ill will towards the team. If anything, management is where I have the biggest quarrel, and particularly Riot. The only way Riot's going to get any forgiveness out of me is if they reassign the IP to a new in-house studio. And
what do you want Riot to do? They're the publisher, not the developer. The problem is the game wasn't developed. Like, what do you mean, bro? The problem is all of the development. Admittedly, I haven't followed this super closely, but just based on picking up the pieces of the story, it seems pretty obvious it's a development-based issue, not a publisher-based issue, no?
Actually get to work on producing Hytale. Like, imagine their plan. God, could you imagine? Could you imagine the reason that Riot put the Runeterra MMO on ice is because they plan to assign that in-house studio team to making Hytale? Oh. That's the only way the game gets saved, by the way, is if Riot decides they'll assign that IP to a team, and they ensure that team gets the job done and gets it done well. Will it even be the same game at that point? Will it even be, like, close to the same game at that point? I don't know. I have my doubts. But at least it'd be something, you know? It wouldn't be Hytale gone forever. But like I said, take that with a very small grain of salt, okay? That is going to be a very unlikely scenario, but it's not impossible. Crazier things have happened. This is my copium.
We're also incredibly proud of the work we did, the world we imagined, the risks
we
took,
and
the heart we poured into the project. None of that can be taken away. And just to clarify, this doesn't affect anyone in the Hypixel server on Minecraft. It's run separately from Hypixel Studios and will continue to operate. So a nice clarification there, and it's good to see that the team still believe in Hytale. That phrase is, you know, a little bit abstract. What does that mean? Does it mean that they still believe in all of the things that made Hytale what it is, all of the things that it stood for as a game, as a platform? Or does it mean that they still believe in it as a project, that they want to try to get this to other game publishers that may pick this up?
Dude, Half-Life 3 was probably the most disappointing, like, lack of a game to come out. That's probably the most, you know, I say it's like, I'm not sat here fucking like, oh my god, Half-Life 3. But, like, you reach a point where you realise it's not coming out, and that's the end of it, and you come to terms with it very quickly, because it's a fucking video game, and it's not the end of the world, you know? But, like, yeah, that's just the way, like, you know, that's probably one of the biggest examples of, like, a game that was much touted and was supposed to be some big crazy game that was going to come out and never happened, you know?
Maybe reinvest in it. That aside, you probably imagine everyone is pointing their fingers at Riot. It was Riot that's done this. It's them that's cut the team off. It's them that's closed down the game. And, you know, they...
Now, to be clear, this is the old CEO, who, by the way, was investigated for sexual harassment claims.
Wait, what?
Because he was supposedly, allegedly sexually harassing like his secretary or something.
Is that true?
And he left the company a couple years ago with a big old golden parachute. He sold a bunch of his stock options.
Do you remember he was fucking saying what a great guy he was in the first video? I mean, to be completely fair to Xanderhal, he obviously couldn't have known that, so you can't really judge him too harshly for that. It's just funny that we just watched him talk about how great this guy was a few years ago, and now he's like, oh yeah, well he was a particular harasser, oops.
So many, mind you, that Yahoo Finance doesn't even display how many shares he sold when he left the company. I will tell you, though, the new CEO, when he signed on, got 2.6 million shares of Riot, roughly, like 2.67 million shares of Riot, and Riot at that time was worth a little over $10 per share. Might give you a little perspective on how big this guy, Nicolas Laurent's golden parachute was, but for all of the complaints I have about this dude, he did seem like he was a big cheerleader for Hytale. As CEO of Riot, he seemed like he made it a personal goal of his to see Hytale to its completion, and whatever new CEO is in charge of Riot now just saw the quarterly losses, the lack of, I guess, progress made, and was like, what is this? Why are we spending so much money on this? And gave them a deadline that they just couldn't hit. I don't know if this guy would have done the same.
Right. So that seems, the way he's described this sounds completely reasonable, if that's what happened. They were given a deadline by the publisher because they were fucking around. They didn't hit it, and then they pulled the plug. What would be wrong with that if that was the case? He's acting like that's some terrible thing for Riot to do, when it seems completely reasonable.
Had to address that, of course. They said they're deeply grateful to Riot, not just for the years of support and
Listen, this guy might have sexually harassed a few sluts, but he wouldn't have been put so much pressure on the team. They needed time to work, to craft their arts.
opportunities that they gave for the care, showing their team how to grow during the transition. Apparently they supported them in going out into the world as well to see if there were any extra investors or acquirers who maybe wanted to carry Hytale forward.
If a few secretaries have got to have their butt slapped by some Frenchman, but I'm going to get Hytale, that's a price that I'm willing to pay.
Or buy it from Riot. And now, as they begin winding things down, they're ensuring that their team is supported with generous severance and resources to help them find what's next. So clear from that statement that they did actually try to go and find buyers for Hytale, but apparently were unsuccessful, which isn't a surprise because it's a big project with hundreds of millions invested into it. So to buy the thing would probably be an immense amount of money. And I imagine all the other studios are distracted working on their own things. Not to mention, the team originally did have lots of offers from these big companies back in 2020. It was
like, it feels like there was enough done of the game in some existing build somewhere that an arguably playable, enjoyable version of Hytale exists somewhere on a drive.
Is it?
Now, we have to obtain it. All right, folks?
Okay, dude.
We have to obtain it. There's got to be a way. There has got to be a way. Whatever build they're playing here, there has got to be a way to obtain it. All right? The same with me and Rockstar Games agent. Somebody someday is going to be our hero. Our Jesus Christ, who sacrifices themselves for our sins and goes and breaks into some Riot, like, headquarters vault somewhere and grabs up all of the remaining copies of Hytale's, like, in-dev builds. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah, it's going to be like a Area 51 raid, exactly. Just everyone running with, like, a Naruto run straight towards the building.
God, dude. Ugh.
I have hope earlier this year a bunch of Rockstar game betas were found. Oh, really? Damn. Yeah, I mean, I feel like never has there been a case in which a leaked version of a game has been so desired and so plausible to happen. There are over 150 people working
also, like, a lot of... Listen. A lot of this kind of material is often, like, scripted and shit like that. Like, they'll obviously put out stuff which isn't, you know... Like, it's not normal gameplay. You know, I learnt this lesson very young. Well, not that young. Well, how old was I? Whenever Halo 2 came out. Because I remember watching a documentary about it. Because I'd seen, like, obviously the E3 video. And then it's like, you watch a documentary about it, and it's like, yeah, that's not actually, like, a playable build of the game. That is, like, a very tight vertical slice of the game. I mean, you could play it, but it wasn't actually the game. It's just something they made as a demo to put to E3. And this is worse than that. This is just like some random shit they put together to make it look like something that they can present. But it's not actually a playable version of the game.
on the game, and I think more who had access to working copies of Hytale at some point or another. So it could happen someday. It's possible.
Them that chose Riot out of the pool of people that were trying to invest in the game. They say to their community, thank you. Your belief in Hytale kept us going through thick and thin. Your energy, creativity, and support inspired us to do the best work of our lives. And even though we won't be the ones to bring this game into the world, we still believe in what it stood for and in the incredible potential of this.
That was an interesting line, by the way. Even though we won't be the ones to bring this game into the world, that...
No way.
That low-key implies... Not that there are plans,
no way,
but that
dude.
it is just open knowledge that the IP could potentially be worked with again by Riot.
Yeah.
But it won't be by this team, obviously. Hypixel Studios is shutting down. If Hytale ever does end up existing, it'll be at the hands...
This is like tremendous levels of cope he's engaging in here. Let it go, dude. Just let it go. It ain't happening. Like, I've never seen such profound cope. Also, this like idea that it's like IP in the strictest sense of the terms, yes. But what have you got in terms of IP?
Slice, doing anything not planned for the trailer is going to break things.
Indeed. Thank you, Sister Godiva, for the super chats. You've not even got a game that's released. What IP have you really got there? You've got a fucking Minecraft clone. What significant characters or story do you have that are worthwhile there?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make
It means
money
nothing.
off depressed people?
This IP means literally nothing.
Thank you for the $5, Cyber Dudley. The Halo IP is worth something because you've got a back catalogue of games and a strong character in the Master Chief. That is something that's worthwhile. And you've got all the fucking Covenant, the story, the lore, everything about it, right? That's worthwhile. And it's why they've continued to fucking pump out Halo games, because they know that there's worth in that IP. What is the worth in the fucking Hytale IP? Who's the main character of Hytale? What are the enemies? Like, dude, there's nothing there. There's nothing.
Of an in-house dev studio, that is Riot. It'll be Riot Studios, most likely, that develops and produces Hytale, should it ever actually come to fruition. And even if it does, even the start of that development could be years out. And you know, if Hytale is ever to exist one day, and that's a big, big if, we are probably a decade out, assuming they started on it anytime.
A decade? You're going to be sat there waiting until 2030. How many other YouTubers are going to have to fucking die before this game comes out, bro? This is ridiculous. Another decade is, oh my god, 20 years.
Soon.
Trust the plan. Just a 20-year plan. Bro, that's longer than Duke Nukem Forever was in fucking development hell.
It really sucks. This is like the worst possible case scenario for this game. We waited the longest amount of time really plausible before they could have canceled it. You know, like, at this point, it's like, if they had given us like another year or two and then canceled...
Xanderhal's going to be dead of age-related complications before the game comes out at this rate.
Canceled it. Oh my god, I think the shit show would have been even larger.
Genre. So again, alluding to the idea that maybe Hytale can be brought into the world in some way, just not by this team. Noxie finishes by saying, even though we're closing this chapter, the spirit of Hytale and everything we hoped it could be will stay with us. We're proud of what we built and we'll carry those lessons forward for whatever comes next. A lovely sentiment, I'm sure, but this is, you know, it's disappointing news. It's really rocked everyone for 10 in the community. I hopped into a VC with a bunch of people when this news dropped. You can imagine my phone amongst anyone in the world was vibrating at an unnatural speed. Like, that thing was going...
Imagine a bunch of fucking gay Hytale fans crying about their shitter Minecraft clone not coming out. How wretched that would be. Oh my god.
Crazy. I woke up and just beep message DMs from every YouTuber that I've ever mentioned Hytale to. People just sharing it and talking about it in Discords, messages from even people on the team. It's just been non-stop and crazy. So obviously, like, I've had to take a little deep breath and realize, oh, this means...
Hey!
Quit streaming. Welcome back.
Bro!
Clap.
What? I didn't quit streaming. I'm still here. Thank you, Cheese G's, for the $5 Canadian. Appreciate it.
That game that I cover on that channel, you know, it's not going to be out. It's not going to come to fruition. And yeah, that does suck, you know, but things continue onwards. As I say, like, while it sucks for me, covering news on the game has been a lot of fun over the years, it sucks more for the team. You know, this channel, Quebec Corner, is a hobby of mine, and it's a privileged hobby. I enjoy covering the news for this game that isn't out yet, but I'm lucky enough behind the scenes to be working with a bunch of really cool creators and channels. Like, I consult on things, I come on and do strategy, I grow teams, and even help coach different parts of their production pipeline, like editing and this.
Hey!
still win, except it's about Minecraft's restarted brother dying.
Yes,
Happy
exactly.
birth week, Chuddy.
Thank you, Supermotion, for the $15. And oh my good God, Legatlanius with the insane, crazy 20 gifted kick subs. Thank you. Woo! Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate that. Hope you're well. Hope you managed to square away that little issue with those Palestinian people about whatever it was. Anyway, thank you very much for the 20 gifted kick subs.
Script writing to make better content. That's what I do.
I really like Quebec Corner. He's a cool guy. This is like the main gist of him talking about the cancellation itself. From here, he kind of talks about the future of his channel and you know, the impact that it's had on the community of Hytale. And I've already talked enough about that, I think. So here's where I'm gonna end our watching of Quebec Corner's video. But if you want to,
okay.
Like we're nearly there already.
Thank you, Caleb, for the super chats. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I'm told that that is like where he spirals off and talks about other games. Okay. However, there's one final piece of the puzzle for this Hytale stuff. And then we're going to talk a little bit about another funny aspect of the Xanderhal shit. It's a sort of a brief follow-on from this. So...
but at the end of the day, all I can say is, I know this isn't the type of stuff I usually talk about on my channel, but I feel so personally affected by it, I had to talk about it. And, you know, if you enjoyed it, if you found it entertaining, educational in any way, then consider dropping a like and a comment down below on the video. It really does help a lot. Helps to force YouTube to push my content out to more people in the algorithm, which I really appreciate. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos in the future. And if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you could follow my social medias linked down below, but I especially recommend you join my fan Discord, as it's the main hub of my community and fan base, and on top of all that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and movie nights there every week. Sadly, I won't be hosting one there tonight. I'm a little sad today, and I'm not quite in the mood for it, as you can imagine. But
oh my God, dude!
I really do appreciate.
He's so cut up. He's fucking cutting prior commitments for his fucking content creation thing. Sorry, guys, I can't sit in a Discord call with you. I'm too sad. Oh my God, bro.
You guys just being a part of the community. Finally, if you want to support me directly,
sorry, movie night's just too much for me to bear. Don't you know Hytale's just been cancelled?
Financially, help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xanderhal studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhal.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xanderhal merch.
Holy fuck, bro,
this is Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, thank you all so much as always, and have a good one.
No one's watching, little bro. No one's supporting you anymore. You're fucked, and your game's cancelled, and you've also got AIDS. Unlucky. Oh, man.
Man. What a fucking bummer. What a fucking bummer of a topic, dude. I did, Andrew, I did. Everyone's been talking about it in chat. I keep acknowledging it, but at this point, I can't keep saying yeah. Anyway, thank you to everybody for your kind words and the support. It really does mean a lot. I'm having a bit of a down day, to say the least. A down last couple days. So it really does...
Bro, multi-day down period over a fucking vaporware game. Dude, it's fucking obscene, dude.
Make me feel better.
How do people live like this? It's ridiculous. He's a total man-child.
So many of you guys here, all your kind words, all your support. I'm just in a bad mood. I'm just sad, you know? It's like losing a loved one, you know? I'm fucking bummed, dude. And you guys are absolutely cheering me up just by being here. It really does mean a lot. You guys, you know...
Hey! Thank you. She's gonna over the super chats.
It's good. It feels good to talk to you guys about, frankly, anything. But this in particular, with how much it's just ripped me up inside, dude, it's really nice to be able to talk to y'all about it. Chris473, thank you for the tier 3.
So just to really put a pin on this Hytale segment, okay? Have a look at this. So this is one of the devs from Hytale. Hytale, what could possibly go wrong when you hire new leadership that thinks the original team is incompetent? Oh, the whole project ends up going in circles until it dies. Yeah, exactly what we were fucking saying likely happened with this project. The community should be angry at the mismanagement that stole the opportunity for Hytale to flourish. Did Riot Games ruin Hytale with their corporate greed? What a retarded question. On the basis of the context of what's happened here. Riot was an absolute pleasure to work with, from people to leaders. They understood the power of empowering and giving folks agency. The issues were all internal to Hytale's leadership. Right. I mean, it's obvious. It's so transparent what's happened here. And if you're trying to blame Riot for this, you're an utter retard with no understanding of how the world works. Obviously, Riot are not responsible for this. It's clearly a development-based issue. It's so fucking obvious, dude. And then apparently more devs. It's not just one dev either. It's more devs too. I'm a D1 Riot hater by nature. Former animation lead. But Riot were absolutely great to work with. Every Rioter I met was a pleasure. None of this was on them. The problems weren't theirs. Like, it's obvious. It's so obvious, bro. They bought them, and for 5 years, not even a beta came out, and then the plug got pulled. It's fucking obvious that it's an internal development issue. It's so transparent, man. Okay, so yeah, I can imagine there's probably multiple people saying the same thing. Now, that's the Hytale thing. As a little addendum to this segment, I just want to show you this, okay? God, this person that posts the Xanderhal A-log stuff to my Discord is a fucking legend. They literally just feed me the full story. It's perfect. Take a little look at this picture, okay? Right? Four hours and 8 minutes down here. 2 hours 44 minutes. 2 hours 32. 4:31. 2:44. 2:48. 2:44. 2:37. 2:15. 1:54. 2:53. 2:24. 1:05. 2:10. 1:53. 2:31. So this guy is at times streaming for as little, well, you know, obviously 2 to 3 hours, and on one occasion has streamed for 1 hour and 5 minutes. To like an absolute fucking fraction of his viewership that he used to get. His average viewership, I think, is about 150 on YouTube. How is he like making this work? Surely he must be like struggling like crazy with this. Now, on this particular example, 1 hour 5, we've actually got an explanation as to why he streams so little. So let's have a listen to that, shall we?
Man, yeah, I'm really sorry about the headphones thing, Alice and Chud. This morning I noticed, like, oh fuck, I forgot to charge my headphones last night. For those that don't know, I can't just like plug them in and use them while talking. They don't have a charging wire. They actually have like this little... They have a series of 3 holes. Thin, like, holes that metal rods go into, more or less. And if you see that thing right there on the ground, the headset, like, clicks in. Like, it perfectly clicks into that, like, stand. And there's...
Okay. So, guys, I know what you're thinking. Surely he's not going to have to end his stream, his workday, the thing that provides his income. Surely he's not going to have to end it because he's not charged up his headphones.
3, like, metal spikes. Contact pins, exactly, that like go inside the headset.
Like, I know that people are saying wireless. Even if you use wireless headphones, one would assume that you've got a wired backup, right? Just in case. You know, I use wired headphones, but I have got to hand at least 2 other pair of headphones that I can easily obtain. One is just a straight 3.5mm jack plug-in job, wired, or I've got my Bluetooth headphones if I needed them. Any streamer is going to have headphones. I could probably even dig up my old headphones that I used, you know, a few years ago that probably still work. And I've probably got some little, like, inner ear wired headphones knocking about somewhere if I was really desperate. Okay? Like, you just generally have a small collection of this sort of thing as a streamer. Especially as you've gone through the years. You generally have got, like, wired headphones or something. Right?
It's like a very weird... connection. You gotta wiggle it around and it like clicks and then it sets in. and then it charges, but it cannot work while charging. It has to be on that stand, like sitting on it, like slotted in a way where you could not wear it and use it while it's charging. Not in any universe would that logistically work. But even if you could charge it and use it at once, even if you could do that, you can't charge it and use it at once. It turns off while it's charging and stays off while charging. But this morning I noticed that I'd left it off the charger overnight. And I was like, fuck, that's gonna be a problem. So I put it on the charger through most of the morning, went out and did my like errands, went to the store, but I was only gone for like 20-30 minutes.
You went to the store as well! Get a fucking $10 pair of headphones! What? Pick up a fucking $5. I'm sure that you can get like $5 headphones. Yeah, it's going to be tinny and shitty audio, but at least you can do your fucking job. What is this? This is fucking obscene, bro.
Came back, took my headset, started using it, and when I was preparing stream, my headset wasn't bothering me. It wasn't until like 10-15 minutes after I started stream that my headset did that warning of like low battery, and at that point it's got 30 minutes left. There's nothing else I could do about it, you know? So that's totally my bad. I'm very sorry, guys. I'll make sure to charge it tonight, don't worry. But yeah, it sucks. I had a smartwatch like that. It happens, man.
Bro,
So,
also,
like,
he has surrounded himself with the most retarded scraps of the fucking leftoid viewers imaginable. And there's like no pushback on this. Like, if his internet went down. Dude, I've had situations where like my internet has fucking failed and I've tried to fucking bring my stream back and most of the, like 9 times out of 10 it's worked, right? Because yeah, these things happen and you just find a way around it and you deal with it. I've had times where I've literally had to fucking set up a Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone just so I can continue to stream because it's totally fucked. And this guy is fucking, you know, boggled by wireless headphones. I just don't understand how he doesn't have a number of pair of headphones available. There's a cupboard over there that I know has got a wired pair of headphones in. My Bluetooth headphones are over there. Like, literally, you've got headphones. How does he not have a spare pair of headphones just randomly laying around somewhere? It's fucking deranged and ridiculous.
Like, I like wireless stuff because, like, I don't have a wire I have to worry about right now. Like, there's no... Like, if this was wired, I'd have a wire either going across my chest, then down over here, and then into my computer, or it'd be going around me, or, like, it'd just be a thing to worry about. That would be, like, catching on my arms, and, like, I'd be wanting to get up and walk away, and I'd, like, forget to take off the headset sometimes. Like, it's a problem. So the Bluetooth...
I forgot to take off the headset. Also, right, for that reason, most headphones have got, like, a fucking coiled wire, so that if you walk away, you don't fucking damage your computer or your audio thing because it pulls it out. It's got a lot of fucking give, so you can walk across the room with it without having that fucking problem. Like, this is like the most basic fucking feature of like audio, like, you know, audio professional headphones. So you've got a bit of movement with it. Like, also, what do you mean forget to take your headphones off? Who the fuck forgets to take the headphones off? You can feel them on your head. Bro, this guy is like so retarded. I don't think I've ever spoken about someone as retarded as this guy. Totally incapable of like basic living, you know, behavior.
Bluetooth headset solves all those problems. It's why I use it. The only downside is the battery issue. But hey, I really appreciate you guys all for coming out tonight. It was going to be a shorter stream anyway. This just means I'll get to fold the topics we didn't get to cover today into tomorrow's stream, so we're not covering anything less in any way. So I hope you guys
an hour
enjoyed stream today. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Night Owl for the $5 donation that said, can you plug in your headphones while you use them? That's what I do with mine. Like I said, if there was like a wire that plugged into them somewhere, then that would be an option, but the way they charge is different, so unfortunately I can't do that, Night Owl, but I appreciate the $5. Very, very kind of you. Very pog. Anyway, guys, here's where I'm going to wrap things up for the night. I love you all so much. Thank you for your support and all the forms it came in. And as always, I hope all of you have a good one. Hopefully my migraine goes away. True. I was so focused on my headset dying, I forgot about the migraine. It distracted me from it. But
Give
anyway,
it up,
guys,
man.
I hope you all have a lovely night. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming. and I will hopefully see all of you tomorrow. Stay tuned on the channel. Keep an eye on it, because more content will be coming soon.
Oh.
Doo-doo fart.
And that's it, guys. And that's it. Apparently, okay, so the absolute final piece of the puzzle is apparently he explained it further the next day. I think it's quite clear you're just an utterly work-shy retard, to be honest. But anyway, let's see what you have to say the next day.
Are your headphones charged this time, Zan? How did I know one of you guys was going to ask me that? How did I know y'all were going to give me shit for that? Listen, hear me, guys. I've had these headphones for like 6 years now. Only like 4 times ever has that been a problem, okay? I always remember, like the night before last was just a hectic night, an unlike usually hectic night, and I forgot to put my headphones in the charger before going to bed, because I spent so much time after stream upstairs, and I totally forgot to go back downstairs and put my headphones in the charger. I just left them, because I thought I was going to come back downstairs quickly, but stuff just distracted me, and I stayed upstairs all day, into the night. So my headphones ended up dying. Well, they didn't die, they were low battery, and then when I started stream, it started saying, headphones critically low, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know they were low. I thought they charged enough when I put them on this morning. But I put them on, they're good, they're fine, they're charged, my headphones will not die, they've got like 20 hours of charge on them. You gotta... You have to jury-rig one of those wireless charging pads with an antenna and a dish to bombard your head with electricity at all times. That would go hard. That would go hard.
What a useless
Feet
fucking
cam.
wretch.
Hey. Hey, yo. No. Alright. That is degeneracy, okay? And we are not a degenerate chat. It'll increase your brain power? I don't think it will. I think it might turn my brain to literal soup, actually.
Oh, bro, I wouldn't be too worried about that, to be honest. That seems to be well on its way, if not complete. Anyway, there we go. A little bit of bonus. Work-shy content. Alongside, obviously, utter headphone retardation. Okay, guys, look at that. Damn, it looks weird. It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Like this, bit dark, bit darker. Getting some attic stream vibes going on.